And we are live. Wednesday Night with Those Guys and Wednesday Night with Those Guys is sponsored by Those Guys. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday Night with Those Guys. And as you know, this is where we talk about everything in the drone world and promote the usage of drones. And this is the first show of the new year. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy 2025. We are moving up. Whoa. Wow. 2025. Lawrence, can you believe that? Woo.
Yeah.
Everyone in the chat, if the weather has been nice where you are and you've been able to get out and fly, please let me know in the chat how the weather is where you are and if you've been able to get out and fly. Exercise your wings and fly. How are you doing, Lawrence, on this wonderful Wednesday?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's cold. It was colder yesterday, and it's still cold.
It's cold.
I'm all right.
The cold is cold, but you know, the wind is what the real issue is. That wind is really, really.
Yeah, see, there's a difference because yesterday, I have COPD, right? So I can't have cold air in my lungs. Yesterday, the air was cold. It was windy. It was just horrible outside. Today, it was just windy. I was able to breathe and run to the store real quick.
Well,
but other than that, I'm good. What's up with you?
This is the first show of the year, right? We're back with a new one. We got a few things to talk about tonight. We got a special guest coming in to hang out with us because, I'm quite sure you guys have seen the title of the show. And you've seen that maybe in your area that maybe some of the drone shows may have been canceled where you are. Some were canceled here. But we got a person that's an expert in drone shows coming in to talk with us. You know him all. He's a friend of the channel, Steven. He'll be here later on to talk with us. But before we really get into that, I just wanted to mention, a lot of people was saying that how, all the talk and stuff about the Jersey drones and stuff and like that has been dying down and stuff like that. And it really seemed like the federal government was kind of setting us up for like this bullshit anti-drone play, making it seem like what is it, and people going crazy and everybody going nuts over airplanes passing by. And then let's be for real, some of them were drones. Some of the stuff that people may have seen were drones flying around out there because drone pilots went to the skies to see what they can see. So, I mean, listen, we even had politicians talking about 6-foot size drones over their property and stuff like that. And that's just, Anyway, I'm glad that talk is all over. But
I'm glad it's died down. It's moved to another part of the states.
Yeah. What I did want to mention, and I'm quite sure we all saw it, and I was like, whoa. I forgot that drone was still around. The DJI has announced that they're going to be ending in as of April 1st of this year the support for the Mavic Pro Platinum. I forgot all about that drone. I think people were wondering if that was the one that everybody was wondering was going to get remote ID, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
They're ending all support.
It had a good run. I mean, from 17,
Well, they were still selling some in other countries. Mm-hmm. So now don't get it twisted. The Mavic Pro, they're hard to find. The Mavic Pro Platinum, they're hard to find, but they're still out there.
I'm on it.
But they're ending, think about it, they're ending service for them, online support all support for them, right?
Accessories. And any accessories.
Okay.
So you won't be able to find any accessories. So that's like props, batteries, and stuff like that.
Well, they go to say that they would suggest you consider upgrading to a more modern drone.
Of course they do.
And the hint that they throw is you could try a recent drone such as the DJI Air 3 or any of the Mavic 3 series.
bet they do.
Which they talk about the obstacle avoidance and all of this stuff that, you know.
I bet they do. He wants you to get something new. I bet they do.
Bill.
But you know what I did want to do, Lawrence?
What's
we
that?
got a few people hanging out in the chat. So if we could I guess we need to do a roll call to see who was in the so who do we have in the house with us tonight?
Who do we have in the house? Okay, starting out early. First one here was Steve, SJM Drones and Media, all the way from across the pond. Jody, Drone Shots, was just walking in the door, or I think just about to walk in the door. Shout out to Jody, Drone Shots, here religiously, these guys. And we appreciate you for that. Waypoint New England. Waypoint New England is like the third one here. We appreciate each and every one of you. CT Pirate. Shout out to C Connecticut Pirate for joining us also tonight. Dominic, all the way from Australia. Dominic, Northside Hawk. Then we got Rob and Sue all the way in Australia, also feet on the ground flying. Shout out to Rob and Sue both. Waypoint New England. On the drone guy 42, Angel. I see him on Xbox all the time. Waypoint New England, I did mention. And our man from the Bronx, Takeoff, Lift, and Land, Elvin. Jerry Bauer, a shout out too. Welcome, Jerry Bauer. You get a shout out during this roll call here. So shout out to Jerry Bauer for visiting. And I think that is about it. No, but one more. The old tall guy. They got jokes. Barkley, 107 Drones. Shout out to Barkley too. We can't forget you.
Can't forget Barkley.
Yes.
Can't forget Barkley. You know, Barkley won't let you. You know what I mean?
That's for real. You're right about that.
No.
Hit one more. I forgot to mention Bill Coast to Coast and Warren.
How could you forget Bill?
I forgot. I'm sorry. Bill Coast to Coast and Acarrasco, Warren. Shout out to you guys. Bill was here earlier, and I skipped right past it. So thank you guys. All right, on with the stream.
So you know, like I said, I'm quite sure everybody has seen some of the things that's been going on. Like I said, many of the drone shows may have been canceled where you are. And you know, and there's been a lot of talk about them. And I've been listening to some of the stuff that people have been saying. So I needed to have, you know, Stephen, who happens to be a good friend of the channel, come on.
Yes.
He's a good friend of everyone in the community. So I'm not going to waste any time. I was going to bring him in a little later, but I'm going to bring him on. We're going to start talking about this thing now because there's a lot going on to unpack with this, and I would like to get to a little better understanding of how some of these things may occur because, like I said, he's an expert, and he should be able to give us some insight to why something like this might happen. So we have Stephen Sutton from the Flyby Guys.
Hey everyone. How long has it been?
It's been a minute. Well, we speak, but it's been a minute since you've been here.
Yeah, it feels like a long time, and I think it has been a long time. And I know I had an invitation a while ago, and there was some mix-up or something. So I do apologize for that.
You were in the middle. You were in the middle of something, I believe it was.
Probably. But good to see you guys. You're looking well.
Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year. You know, I'm quite sure you actually put out a video speaking to it, and
2 videos.
And I just thought that it was strange because just last year in December, our last show for the year, we spoke on how Sky Element drones had broke the Guinness record for the largest drone animation show with Poppy the Penguin.
Yep.
And honestly, they do put together a nice little animation. It's cool. But somehow in Orlando there's a little mix-up, a little mishap, and little boy got hurt. Drone hit him. From what I understand, it hit him in I guess in part of his face and his chest.
Yes.
And he had to have surgery, on his heart, on open heart.
Now you have to clarify the surgery really quick because no props sliced into him, nothing gross like that. The drone hit him. When we're clarifying this now,
it hit him hard in
his chest and actually ruptured one of the vessels in his heart.
Yeah, the drone, is the IFO from UV-Fi, which is almost a kilogram in weight, depending on the battery and depending on other factors, but it's something around a kilogram in weight.
Okay.
That drone was traveling at full velocity, which was really quite fast. Wow. And I'm coming on here, and I'm not going to be pointing finger. This is not going to be.
Oh no, definitely not.
No, I don't want to attack Sky Element.
Yeah, I know. It's the investigation will do its job and find out what happened and who is to blame. That is their job, and I know that.
Before we get into it, for the people that don't know who you are, we know who you are through your drone shows you've done around the world, etc. Can you give a brief synopsis of who you are, what you do for a living, to authenticate why you're on the show?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just give a quick brief. I know that many people in the chat and who are watching, and I see many names that I know, Brent Ariels and Bill and all the rest of it there, and John Olson. And good to see you all. So Stephen Sutton, Flyby Guys. We've been doing drone shows for over 4 years all over the world. Seeing what happened a few weeks ago really, it really hit me hard, and it hit everyone hard. Everyone in the industry, it really hit them hard. And I was genuinely, affected by this. And the reason why I made the videos was I wanted to inform the public, and mainly the drone community, because we all have opinions, we all see what happened, and we all have a good idea and want to have our say.
Right.
And for me, it was very, very, it was very clear seeing what happened, what actually went wrong.
Okay.
Now, of course, that's not official, of course.
It hasn't been confirmed.
Yeah,
Your synopsis has not been confirmed.
It hasn't been confirmed. No, it has not. It has not. And then, of course, I made the second video, which I released a couple of days ago, which was basically focusing on the operational plan, which basically confirmed my own thoughts on this. Is that and any of you who have not watched the videos, I do urge you to go and have a look at the videos, because
I'm gonna put them in the chat.
Yeah, Stephen, I want to ask just one question, because you said that you were very affected by it, and when I saw what happened, I too was bothered by it, because it's like it's another blow to the drone industry.
Yep.
Especially with some of the things that I was hearing, and people were questioning, like, the permit and what they were allowed to do, and I've heard the things that you had said, and I personally don't, I can't lend my opinion to it, because I don't know how to do a drone show.
Yeah.
That's not my thing. Had he crashed doing inspections or something like that, then I could I could lend a tongue to that. But as far as this, I don't know. That's why I asked you.
Yeah. I think in all absolute reality, what we've been talking about over the past few years in the drone community and from the regulators about how we should be flying safe and we should make sure that drones don't fall on people and blah, 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 and all the rest of it. You know, we now seen this is now a reality. We've now seen that someone has been injured by a drone, and it was unfortunate that it happened the way it did, mainly because, and this is why it affected me, is because since the very beginning, since I had my training, my very first training doing the drone shows, the emphasis was always on safety. There was always on safety. Now, the drones can do whatever they want over the show box. When you're in that, when you're in that area, and in the video I'm talking about that we have these safety buffers and we have this geofence. The drones can do whatever they want in there. If they want to all fall down and fly off or whatever, that's fine. Of course, it doesn't look good. And that's when people have opinions and it goes viral and stuff. But at the end of the day, the drones haven't hit anyone. And that's all we care about. You know, all we care about is safety. The drones can do whatever they want. But the fact that one drone managed to get out of there and not only eject outside of the buffer zone, but actually go into the crowd, it's kind of broken the code of what we should not be doing. Because it's to say, if you're like, let's say if you are, let's say, a religious person and you have the 10 Commandments. One of the commandments of drone shows is a drone should never go into the crowd, a kind of thing, and that's what happened here, and that's why it affected me, because we've been working so much over the years to ensure safety and to make sure that we keep things in line. So that is why and it didn't just affect me; it affected many others. I've been discussing this with many people, and they all actually back up what I've been saying as well, that they all have the same opinion, and people have been focusing on the drones and the fact that the drones were flying everywhere. It was like, that's not going to be part of the investigation. The drones won't be the investigation. The drones, it's why a drone was allowed to
leave two safe zones. Is that true? To leave two safe zones. And I wanted you to briefly explain a typical setup, because you explain it in your second video that you did. I posted both of them in the chat, but in the second video, you put up what is called a launch area, which is in one location. Then you have the show area, which is a second spot. And then outside of that, you have your first geofence. If anything goes wrong, drone is supposed to shut down, drop from the sky, whatever protocol you have it do. And then you have a geofence outside of that.
Yes.
As a redundancy geofence, I'm guessing.
Exactly. Now, many companies have different names for those. They will call them the inside zone, the outside. We call it inner geofence and outer geofence. And and the way that we test that is that we'll take a drone and we'll go to the four corners or whatever, and we'll take one drone and once it hits the inner geofence, it might turn blue. It just depends on the configuration. You go to the outer geofence, it will turn red. That's when we know that it works. If you're on water, you'll go out on a boat. You'll go out on a boat and you'll actually test it, and that's part of your pre-flight. So you'll do all that, all the checks to make sure. And the distance that we're supposed to have between the show box, the inner geofence and the outer geofence, then the safety buffer is calculated to how fast or what the highest velocity of the drone can be, actually based on the height, right? So let's just say, for example, you have the outer geofence, and then you're going to have a safety buffer of, let's say, 30 meters, 40 meters, which will be from the audience, right? That would be a standard to make sure that whatever height and whatever velocity a drone hits the geofence, when it hits the geofence, the motors will cut. And when the motors cut, that means it's going to go down. So the velocity from the height is based on where is that going to land? Is it
Really
going to
quick,
Yeah.
quick, Stephen. I tried while you were talking on the internet to find a drone light show geofence, and to present date, right now, you're the only one I know that has drawn such a thing.
Yeah.
Is there any way possible I could pull up the picture that you did from your video? I would need your permission.
Of course you can. Absolutely.
I would need your permission, first of all, and then I will also share the video in the chat. So this is just a screenshot from your recent video.
Absolutely.
And it would explain what you're explaining, because for layman's terms, it may be understandable and it may not. Go ahead.
So, Steve, what you're saying is that when this drone enters into that zone, it's supposed to shut down.
Yep.
Here we go. Here we go. And what I mentioned, can you guys see this?
Yeah, we can see it. Yeah.
Okay. From what I mentioned, the green area is the launch area.
Yep.
And what you were explaining, the blue was the first geo zone that's supposed to kill engines or whatever. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this is this is what's been used for the operational plan. And as I've said in the video, I'm not sure if this is the final version. What I would say is missing here is the show box, but the show box is basically going to be inside the blue area.
Right.
And then you have the first, then you would have the inner geofence, which is the blue, then the outer geofence, which is the red.
Right.
Where the arrow's pointing there, that exact point where the arrow's pointing, in my opinion, in my professional opinion, that is too close to the audience.
Gotcha.
It's way too close.
Gotcha.
I would say that part on just actually to the left of it, with a kind of a brown and white crosses on there.
Right,
I would say a little bit more to the left of that, around
out
there.
You're saying down at the bottom of the screen.
That area is where I would start to have the audience. I would not have the audience
this close
there. Yeah.
But I want people to watch your video, so I don't want you to give too much of it, but I just wanted to show an example. So
yeah.
I'll post a link in the chat so they can watch the video and you can explain in detail there. But
so now that's all in the software and the planning of where that is. Okay.
Yeah. But of course, the software doesn't stop you from putting the audience somewhere. Wherever, you should, in a sense, respect the amount of area that should be available, and that's up to you. So the software only looks after the drones. After then, it's up to you to make sure that the audience are of a certain distance, and you do that with the client, so you have security, and you'll maybe have some fences or whatever, or some gates or something, or even people, and this is something which we work very, very closely with, so that we can make sure that we emphasize the safety. And generally, I would say, this has always worked.
Really quick. Someone asked, and I don't know if you had mentioned it, but someone says, now, how many shows have this? How many shows have this organized? Have these organizers done? This company. Another little quick history thing about this company. This drone show company, they were discovered on America's Got Talent. They claim to fame was from there. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, Sky, they I don't want to talk too much about Sky Elements, because I don't want to bring too much attention.
Okay.
I think
being in the business, I get it.
I think they've got enough to worry about right now. And by the way, even though something went wrong, I'm pretty damn sure they are, inside personally, they are having a hard time. They are having a real hard time. It's not going to be easy for them, So again, I'm not going to be pointing fingers and pointing any blames. If that was me,
we definitely don't want to do that.
Yeah. They've been doing a lot of shows, and some of you out there may have heard about, the drones using the wrong firmware and all the rest of it. These drones are workhorses. They've been doing a lot of work with these drones. And I don't see the firmware being an issue, or it's not even part of the story here. It's not even part of the investigation, as far as I'm concerned. Of course, it might be, but I don't think so. As we say, what happens inside the safety buffer stays in the safety buffer.
Right.
It doesn't. It really doesn't matter as long as they don't escape outside. It's fine. How this is going to affect things going forward, I think, is the interesting thing. I actually do have some news which I'm going to give you guys the exclusive on this.
Very
I'm going
nice.
to give you guys the exclusive very, very soon. In 5 minutes, I'll do this. I do think that the FAA are going to maybe have a look about how things are done in the US. I think they might have to pull in some of these companies and say, how are you doing this? What is your measurements? And how are you making sure that they have been put into place? I've seen some videos from other companies, which I would say is actually questionable for the safety buffer. So in a way, I don't want to say, but kind of this is not a surprise to me from what I've seen. And this only, I would say it happens in the US, not all companies, but it happens in the US. I do know of a couple of other companies that are working in the Middle East that do not have geofences at all.
Wow. That's
interesting.
Once
I've
again,
seen some of those shows, and some of those shows get extravagant, and the way they move and
yeah. Some of those drones fly very, very far away. I've heard lots of. I've had this, verified by quite a few people. I'll just give you something about breaking. I was actually contacted by a couple of US companies this week, and they wanted me to be part and obviously, be a bit more vocal that the drone show companies are now wanting to have an association. They're now wanting to have, so we all want to get together and actually, let's say, talk and share information.
Have an advocate, perhaps?
Yes.
I'm waiting for you to train me.
Well, this is something.
We're waiting for you to come to the States, dude.
It could well be. I think it's a good idea. And one idea I had is that this can be open for anyone to join, and you can come, you can join there, and you can, you can get consultation. You can ask to be trained or something. So this is something I'm actually going to put to them actually. So there is now, and it's actually, I'll just give you what it's called. It's called blah 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 blah. Just a second. It's called Drone Show Industry Association.
Okay.
That's the name. That's the name of the organization. Drone Show Industry.
Based in Switzerland.
It's based in the US.
Really?
Yes. And I think the address for that, just give me a second, is DroneShowAssociation.org.
Drone Show Association.org.
And this is now this. So I was approached by a few companies who are starting this, and they want me to be part of this. And of course, I'm going to be a bit more of an advocate. I have a voice, so it's good to put this out there.
I have the page right here.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you need us to do? Because we can blast anything you want.
Yeah, just give a shout out here, and of course it's good. This is something that, of course, I've been talking about this with a few people in the industry, and everyone welcomes it. Everyone thinks this is a great idea.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I can actually pull up the page and
start putting a link to it in the description on my channel.
On the stream, right? This is it right here. how to join on Drone Show Industry Associates, how to contact them, and it points out some of the main objectives of this particular organization. And number one is protect the industry, which I am behind 100%. Support your providers, develop legislation that makes it standardized. I'm assuming you guys are talking about the education of drone shows, public awareness, expertise, research. I wish you guys a lot of luck with this. I'm going to post this in the chat tonight, but Herman will now place this in. I'm going to send it to him via email in the live stream.
What I'm liking about it is that
so we can follow.
This is just like with the eVTOLs, but this is something that is now starting out. So now, those who have had their hand and foot in the business will be the guys who would write the the standards.
Yep.
That's how things will be done.
Yep.
That's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah. And I have the bookmark also.
It's more, I think that, I talk with, a lot of people, but there's certain people that I don't talk to. And there are some people who have just reached out to me. And since I made these 2 videos, I've had a lot of support from the drone light show community or let's say the industry. People have reached out to say it's really good that you've actually communicated this and really, given this information to give people, more understanding. I've had one negative person, and I'm not going to say that person's name. I'm not going to say that person's name, but that person
has been on this live stream.
That person has been on this live stream before. And I'm very disappointed at that person. However,
we'll talk in the green room afterwards.
But of course, those who have a negative, opinion about my videos are people who don't do drone light shows. So, kind of,
you know what? Someone told me. A guy had. I understand what you're saying because someone had told me. I was having an argument with them, and I'm like, dude, you've never been to college. How can you tell me what college life is like? And then someone told me, just let it go. Just take a deep breath and walk away. But I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, it's I've been coming on to this show for for many years. I have loads of respect for you guys, and I really there's one thing I forgot to say. It's great to see you guys doing really good stuff these days with the telecom towers. I'm very, very proud of you. Great to see you
doing. Thank you. We are trying. We're trying.
It's really good. I'm really glad to see that. Sorry, I should have said that at the first when I came in here, but we got so focused on everything. So I just wanted to say that.
We're stumbling a couple of times here.
We appreciate you because if you remember, before those guys, Ariel got started, Herman was hitting you with questions and and you were most informative and very helpful in a lot of things you told us.
Only person.
Yes, the only. And Stephen, if you were here, I would invite you out to a ribeye steak dinner.
Well,
a ribeye dinner, man.
You're
that worthy. You're that worthy because when Herman and I were getting into this, we were asking people, and people were like, "Sure, when you get in, but just ask any question." And then we got in, and everybody disappeared like a cloud of smoke.
Yeah. Well, you know my number, guys. It's okay. You know my number.
We appreciate you as well. We appreciate you as well. So,
I just want to see the industry grow. I just want to see the industry grow.
Yes.
We're still, honestly, I've been doing these live streams 5 years. And I've been flying for maybe, a year or 2 years before that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I look at what I'm doing and I'm like, wow, I'm flying these drones for 7 years. And, this guy's in the business, been around longer than that.
Yes.
You look at where we are, we're still in infancy. We're still a child crawling.
There's a long way to go.
You know what I mean? And there's a lot of industry that would love to use the technology and haven't adapted the technology yet.
True.
You know, it's just a long way. It's still a long way to go.
The industry itself, and when we talk about industry, we talk about, for example, the telecom operators, and and other sectors, whether it be power lines and all the rest of it, electricity companies. They are now really starting to wake up. They are starting to kind of like go, oh, and it has taken its time. Things are changing pretty quickly. And I really don't, I don't know where we're going to be next year. I know we're going to still be doing what we're doing, but I really can't say. I mean, I think this year we'll be focused on wind turbines this year. There's going to be a big focus on wind turbines.
Really?
Yeah, it's going to be a big change, and then also utilities like power line inspections, because we've had a lot of companies approach us saying we need this and we don't know anyone to do it, but we know that you can do it. Can you do this? Which of course is great, but it means that we have to change our strategy about. We have to invest in new drones. We have to get DJI M350s. We have to get P1s, maybe get lidars and stuff. That's all very expensive. It's quite costly. But of course, if you know that you have that work for the next X amount of years or whatever, then of course it's fine. So my advice to you both is, I know that what you're doing now is great, but I can guarantee in a year or two's time you can be going, yeah, we're going to do something different because this is the way the industry is going, because it can change. It can change a lot,
Yeah.
That's right about now. If I had to do a manual orbit around a freaking stop sign, as long as you're paying me, I don't give a damn.
I've seen stuff out there for power line inspections, transmission and distribution.
Yeah,
right. I think it was gearing up in what was that? Was it Louisiana?
Louisiana,
yes,
down in Louisiana.
But it's not just about doing the inspection for the power lines. It's also checking, the area, the vegetation that is also around it as well.
Well, we're trying not to lose any jobs or work to drones in a box.
Drone. I was talking about this today. Actually, I was actually talking to my. I was talking with my enterprise guy, who is actually currently trying to get me a Matrice 4. I should hopefully have one next week to test. I should have one to test out. And he was telling me a few things, and of course the DJI Dock 2 is being used. It's really good for security. It's good if you're in solar panel inspections, because it is always going to be there. There's these farms are big, and you can do a lot of data capture in there.
Right.
We're doing a lot of construction sites at the moment, and that also has a lot of value, because I'm doing these I'm doing these inspections every week, and we're now getting more and more of them. So sometimes, is a drone in a box a good idea? Yes, it can be. If you have work in a place for X amount of years, and I know that the work that we have with the construction sites are going to go on until 2026. If not, actually 28. Actually, sorry, 28.
Okay.
So maybe it's not such a bad idea, but of course, within a construction site, you have to make sure that you have the drone in a box in a specific location, that it's not going to get damaged.
Yes.
Right.
So
they will damage it.
They will get damaged. They will get damaged. Because it's all about, because and the guys were asking me who. The site manager was asking me about, can we have some GCPs? And I says, yeah, you can have some GCPs, as long as you can give me a guaranteed location to put those GCPs, that nothing's going to happen to them for the next 4 years, and he's going, let's discuss next year. So we can't do it right now. Once you get the roads set up within the area and those roads are going to be okay, then we can talk about it. But no.
Right.
Other than that, you're gonna mess it up.
Yeah. What are you guys using for your telecom inspections?
What are we
Mavic
using?
3 Enterprise.
Mavic 3 Enterprise. That's my favorite drone. It's my favorite drone.
But I'm not going to lie. I went and practiced on my own on a telephone pole with my Mavic 3 Classic and did it manually. So I can do it manually. We can use the Enterprise. If the Enterprise goes down, we have a backup. But the Enterprise.
The good thing about the Enterprise is the quality of the camera. Because you've got
it flies different from my Mavic 3 Classic too.
It does.
And I did notice it flies different.
It does.
The capture
it handles a lot, not dramatically, but you can tell the difference. But in the handling from my Mavic 3 to the Enterprise, definitely.
Well, if you look just over the shoulder of Herman and you see the Phantom 4 sitting there, and how we had those SDKs and we could use those in Drone Deploy and Pix 4D, but it's still not the same because that drone has to kind of stop and do. Whereas the Mavic 3 Enterprise can just go zoom. The Matrice 4 can take pictures every 0.5 seconds.
Yeah. Herman and I were talking about that this morning. We can fly faster. We can fly and do the job faster.
Yeah.
We actually plan to talk about that in a little bit.
But that does mean that it can fly faster, though.
Well, it means it means it can take more. It can take more pictures,
more photos.
Within
time period. The capture rate, because when we were looking for that capture rate was the most important thing with doing the inspection. So now that this, since we're here, let's talk about it. Because the launch was today of this drone, and let's talk a little bit about it because I find that your buddy there, Lawrence, Osita, LV, and Igor, they were kind of right on all the specs on this thing and that which one was coming first. So what we got on this on the what do you call it here? The Matrice 4. So we got a tele camera with 1/1.5 CMOS sensor at 48 megapixels, a medium tele camera with a 1/1.3 inch CMOS sensor with 48 megapixels. It also has a laser rangefinder. We got a wide angle camera that was a 4/3 CMOS sensor with 20 megapixels. Now we get into the thermal. So we got what here? It's infrared thermal camera. Was it the resolution of 640 by 512? Supports high res mode. We have a tele camera with a 1/1.5 CMOS sensor, 48 megapixels. Also a laser rangefinder on this camera, as well as a medium tele camera with a 1/1.3 inch CMOS sensor with 48 megapixels, and the wide angle camera on this drone happens to have the same size sensor, which is the 1/1.3 CMOS sensor with 48 megapixels, and it also has an NIR auxiliary light with a 6-degree field of view, which illuminates up to 100 meters.
Do not fly this in New Jersey, please.
And it's good. What I love about it, and I'm hearing these things, I'm like, we talk about swapping out batteries and taking off again within 15 seconds. That's beautiful. The AI on it is crazy because it can identify the difference between people, vessels, vehicles, and other things. It's good, but the Flight Hub 2 controller is something to be said for. But what is it? The 04 transmission up to 25 kilometers. Lawrence, you do the math. How many miles is that? Because that's a lot of kilometers. Dude. And
how many kilometers? How many kilometers?
25.
25. You basically cut it in half, about 12 miles.
Real time. It's got a real time. What do you call it? There, so you can talk to people on the ground of search and rescue. So you can real time broadcast from it. And this was what we were talking about. Those the 0.5 interval shooting. That capture rate is gone. It's even better than the 3.
It's insane. It's insane. It really is. It's that, and that's what really excites me. When I seen the 0.5, it's
the 4.3 sensor and mechanical shutter is a winner in itself.
Well, that's what we have in the Mavic 3 Enterprise anyway. It's the same size on there, but you're getting a little bit more with the with the laser range and all the rest of it, and of course you get and of course this I think sets things up for the Mavic 4 Pro coming out. I think this sets a little bit more there as well.
Stephen, what I'm noticing with this is like they've moved all. I'm not. Listen, I can't be for sure, but from what I'm seeing, I believe that they're moving the Enterprise off of the Mavic series, and leaving it in the Matrice series, and then the Mavic is just going to be a cinematic shooter.
Yeah, and I did hear this a couple of weeks ago from a source saying that the Mavic 3 Enterprise was basically the last Mavic Enterprise, and that the next version of the Mavic Enterprise would then go to Matrice, and it would be Matrice 4. And there is going to be a 400 coming out in the next few months, maybe towards the end of the year. I do suspect it will come before any possible drone ban coming in. But again, I think that this is DJI starting the year off with an enterprise drone, saying to the drone industry, screw you. This is the bar that you have to be, at here, and
that's a hurdle that's hard to get over. But
in other words, you want to get into the game, it's going to cost you about $38,000.
Yeah, we got a break. Simple. We got a break for our sponsor. We got 2 guys.
We've been.
For drone news and tech talk, tune in every Wednesday night, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to Wednesday Night with those guys.
Yeah, we're like 2 sponsors past. You got to put it on I got to set a timer or something.
Yeah, it didn't disappoint, and I should be testing it in the next week or 2. So
really?
I should be testing.
Someone had mentioned in the chat.
The 5-directional oblique capture.
Yeah,
is interesting too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm using Drone Deploy, because that's what my clients have. So I can't really use, and I think that this Flight Hub and all the rest of it, things you can do with the DJI Hub and all the rest of it, it's fine, but it doesn't really have any value because it's not something that you can say that you can have a platform and share it with your client, because I see it, how I see it, and I've been talking about this, is that like some Drone Deploy, Pix4D, all those kind of platforms, they're now not aimed at drone operators. They're aimed at the industry, like construction and stuff. So and they give you access to that. you know. So
yeah, they dictate the market. Those 3 or 4 companies.
Yeah,
because the company that we get telemetry for is Pix4. They use Pix4.
Yeah,
I found that out, and I was like, oh, okay, it is what it is. Whatever you use, you want me to use it, we'll use it.
Yeah, and you have to use it.
Yeah.
Now think about this, right? All those companies that have all those contracts and deals with Drone Deploy, Pix4D, or and so you have to have that drone. So they will come to you as they come to me and say, we need you to do this. And you go, okay. And we need you to have a Mavic 3 Enterprise, or we need you to have a Mavic, we need to have a, like a Matrice 350 or something. Yeah, okay, fine. And we need to have this sensor on it. It's all set up for the ecosystem, which means if and when this drone ban comes in, all these companies,
hey, stop cursing at us.
Hey.
All of a sudden, my belly doesn't feel so well.
It's funny. It was at the last show we did in December. We had Bill on, and we were talking about DJI. He said, "Well, DJI, didn't get banned this year." He goes, "But they're on the clock."
Yeah. I think it's on the clock. I do. I think it's going to happen.
I do too. I just think that we will go to actually talk about that too. But what I did want to mention is that DJI is supposed to be getting a new headquarters, right? A super headquarters in Shenzhen.
Yeah.
So look out. They're building a new building. They just get a new building.
That was 3 years ago, man. You're late.
Yeah, but
that's a new building.
Yeah, but after the Mavic 3 came out, after the Mavic 3 came out and the Air 3, they can now buy a new one. It's okay.
Yeah. But this building, they promised.
Hold on a second. 3 years old is a new building.
Like apparently in Shenzhen, yes.
Yeah, you should see that place. It's stunning. It really is.
And they're talking a large R&D. What's that?
You can see where those guys shoot the videos and put out the leaked pictures and stuff from right there in the courtyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a rock that they use all the time in front of the place. But Stephen,
yes.
Any last words so you could release? How would you say, calm the minds of people worried about drone shows now? Because you did mention one thing, though. You did mention that this is the first incident in many of thousands of shows.
Yes.
And even planes fall out the sky eventually out of the tens of thousands that are in the air.
Exactly. And I think that we have to have a realistic balance of understanding that, we shouldn't panic here. We should not panic because there is a very, very, very good safety record, not just for drone shows, but just basically for drones flying all over the world. If we want to focus on drone shows, there are thousands of drones flying. Especially over New Year, like around Christmas time, whatever. There are thousands of drones flying, thousands of drones. Not one person has been hurt. This is the first time that it's happened. If we look at the difference, with the figures against manned aviation,
we
have an exemplary record, and so
I agree.
So there shouldn't be a panic here. Of course, it's not a good thing that happened. And of course, it happened to a child.
Right.
It really is absolutely shocking. But the thing is, when something happens to a plane, for example, there's no focus on the injured people. It's the plane that gets the focus. The difference here, it's the person. That boy gets to focus, so there's, it is a little bit different, and of course, but there's a lot of normality within manned aviation. When something goes wrong, we just accept it. We go, oh yeah, there's an accident. So it's
right. Some piece of blue ice or an engine fell through my house, roof of my house.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Stephen. We take it for being a little bit more normal, and I think it's because, like we were saying before, the drone industry is still new.
We're going to have these kind of incidents, and we have to accept these incidents are going to happen. We don't have to like it. We don't have to rub our hands. We don't have, but in reality, it's going to happen.
There was a Hindenburg before Goodyear can fly over stadiums.
Of course.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
True. That's true.
So that's my final words, guys.
All right. Listen, I just wanted to say we appreciate you ever so much, man, for coming on, giving us the breaking news also on the Drone Association, DroneShowAssociation.org.
I like that.
Herman will put that in the description so people will have an idea of what the drone light show community is trying to do, where they're headed, and I hope you guys are successful with it. Seriously.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Good to see you guys. Let's not make it so long next time. And
listen, we're still waiting for you to get over here to the States, man.
Oh, I know. I know. And you'll be the first persons that I call. Trust me.
Listen. We can JFK. You got to come in through there.
Oh, always
coming through JFK.
Yes. I know you'll do that.
And if not, the only other places on the West Coast.
Well, there's LaGuardia.
Yeah, it is LaGuardia.
I've never flown into LaGuardia. I've only flown into JFK, so because I can get a direct flight from here.
LaGuardia has one of the shortest runways. When you take off, if that plane hits a stone or something, you may be in trouble.
It's not.
Well, as long as it isn't a drone, if it's a stone, it's fine.
True. It's for real.
It's not that bad.
For those of you who have missed the conversation that we had earlier with Stephen from the Flyby Guys, you're going to have to rewind the video to the beginning.
Catch from the beginning.
Anything you want to say before you get out of here, man? Because I know it's late where you are.
Yeah.
Fly safe.
All right,
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you for coming and hanging out with us, man.
Thanks, guys. See you soon. Good night.
All right. Good night, man.
Good night.
Okay. Very good. That was a good first half of the stream.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, getting to talk a little bit here about the drone light shows and getting everyone to understand, because of those guys that put out videos, man, talking about, their permit and their drones are not supposed to fly over the people and all kind of stuff, but no one knows.
I know.
What happens, and no one actually on it.
Misinformed people. That's why I'm glad Stephen was actually able to come on, because there's so much misinformation out there. People are making videos about, I was at the drone light show, but they're showing the same video everyone else is. You know? So that clickbait stuff and things like that. So we appreciate you, Stephen, from the Flyby Guys, and this drone show association thing. I really do hope it takes off for real.
So do I. I'll do whatever I could do to help out. Help, promote it, push it, whatever.
Yeah, most definitely. If it'll ease the fear. If it'll ease the fear. Welcome, Sean. How are you? Happy New Year to you, bro. Thanks for coming in. Happy New Year to everyone out there. Welcome to Wednesday Night with Those Guys. Wednesday Night with Those Guys is sponsored by, we need a sponsor, bro.
Yeah, we got to get and let me take a break right now and go on our sponsors.
Yes, thank you.
For those of you who are Part 107 and you're looking to scale your operations and you just want to get out and do the work, leave all of the office work to somebody else. Well, then DroneUp is for you. If you need a place to build a website, then DroneUp is for you. If you're looking for tools to make you a more knowledgeable pilot and all those other things that all balled up into one-stop shopping, then DroneUp is for you. Check out the description in the link below.
DroneUp, There you go.
There we go.
FYI, if you guys don't know what DroneUp is, like he said, everything from them offering you a website. Of course, it's a paid service. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But they offer you a website. You can send out billing. It's job related.
Yeah.
It's a filing system for your drone company, basically.
Your clients that you have, your current clients can go back there and book you.
Yes.
On different
you
things.
You can put up a list of your work, etc., right?
Yes.
Of your prices.
All your stuff, and they'll book you right there on it, and you don't have to worry about all the other work. They'll do it all for you.
Yeah. And for those of you who say, well, drone work.
This drone, Lawrence, what do you really think about it? That this drone that they released today, I really think it was. I like it. I mean,
they're separating. They are separating the enterprise from consumer.
From the regular drone, but from the regular the Mavic series. But it still has the little shelf over the camera on it. If you look at it, it still has that. And but it has a very nice camera. They're doing some stuff, getting these sensors into these little boxes.
Technology is getting better.
I it's funny because I tell you all the time. I said when you go to grab the drone to fly, you grab the one that's got the best camera. And it's sad because when we talk about how the drones fly, we've been using the Mavic series for a few years, and now recently with the cell towers, and we used the regular Mavic drone, Mavic 3 to do the towers until we got the Enterprise.
Right, correct.
We were flying manual, a lot of these things, and now that we've got it, I find, like you mentioned earlier, and we mentioned it as soon as we got it out and started messing with it, we saw automatically that it flew better than the regular
consumer base
Mavic 3, and I'm like, why? From what I understand, that they both, that and the thermals, handle the wind a little better than the regular drones. I don't know how much.
And I've been meaning to ask Draymond, has he noticed that? If he's still in the chat, have you noticed that and I don't know if you've been able to make a comparison, but anyone out there, if you've flown the Mavic 3 Enterprise compared to the Mavic 3, have you noticed that it flies different? It handles better. It's a lot tighter. I ordered the Matrice 4E, keeping it cheap, and charged it to Lawrence's card. He's a hell of a guy.
That's how I go.
B-Mac, you should have put that at the end of the live stream, because now I have to cancel all my cards. What's up, B-Mac? How are you? Happy New Year.
B-Mac. You know what, Lance? I wanted to talk about. There's been a lot of flipping talk over on Twitter. A whole lot of flipping talk. Flip this and flip that. But we've all seen pictures of the DJI flip. I got a picture here. I want to pictures here for the fleet. The fleet. There we go. Fleet. That's the fleet, right? We've seen that. We've seen these already, right? Of the
yes,
flip.
yes.
Well, your man's the trio of those guys over there on Twitter have been on time and on point with it, because from what I'm seeing, Osita LV, Osita Love, he put out he posted something on Twitter. What was it? A time to flip. He put that post up on Twitter. I think you have that one. A time to flip.
I have Jasper and Igor.
You have a list of what do you call it? Tweets that I sent you, starting from 1 straight through.
From January 7th.
No, you got a list of tweets that are labeled from 1
through 7. Never
I
mind.
only have Jasper and
Never mind. Don't worry about
Igor.
it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't you worry about it. I'll find it myself. I will find it myself. Because I know I gave it to you.
You're talking about the pictures.
No, don't worry about it. I sent you a whole list of stuff of tweets, and I told you to keep them. And I sent all of them to you at the end, all in one list. You have them. The show is not where we're going to do this.
The only pictures, I do have the pictures.
Oh, stop. Do you have them?
I have to
I
pull them
sent
up.
you the tweets.
I have the 4 pictures. I have to pull them up.
Never mind the 4 pictures, because I sent you a list of tweets, man.
That's what they were. I saved them.
Anyhow, there was a tweet where he had posted a time to flip. The next one came through from Igor from Quadro News, where he said that we were getting closer and closer.
Yeah.
The third one
right
after
here.
that was
That's
Jasper
this one
Ellis.
here.
The third one was where Jasper Ellis himself posted that that they wanted to end the day on a positive note, where he showed a picture of the flip and folded. From there, they went on to go on with more posts that they post, where he had said that he didn't understand this monstrosity, where he showed another post, a picture of the flip, where the flip was also folded. There was another set of pictures that I had that Osita had posted, and he showed what was going to be in the box. And he had posted this picture. Then from there, he went on to talk about how it was he feels the drone was beautiful. I don't know. These guys post all kind of craziness in some of their posts, and he put this picture out. And then Igor posted another one where he wanted to talk about who was going to be the leader in the folding drone market, and it was a thing with the flip versus, I guess, the the hover joint there from what's those people there? What's the people who make that little flip drone launch?
Hover.
Yeah, hover. They had you don't have that one either, right?
I have it right here.
I don't see it.
This one you're talking about, correct?
Yeah. No, that's one of them.
I have them in order, but you were going through them so fast. I did not have Igor's pictures loaded.
All right. Jasper also posted another post where he talks about it being the perfect travel companion. Then from here,
this one.
Yeah, that's it. But the one thing that I thought was kind of strange, and they talk about what these guys put out, and I'm like, and some of these things, we've been talking about a few products from as far as they had what the beacon and all these other things that we were talking about coming out from DJI, and we were all waiting on a lot of these things coming out. And we saw some stuff on the, what was that? The 04 air unit. We had that a few times, and we actually showed that just on the last stream that we did. And we talked about how there was going to be two 04 units. And then I saw that there was a little picture or video that they showed of them kinda wanting to make it look like they were unboxing something. Now, I don't know. You had an issue with the video. I kind of thought the video.
I was upset at the fact that they're only showing half of it in frame. They go through the trouble of opening all of this stuff up, and they only show half the board. If you didn't want anyone to see the board, put a piece of tape over it so we couldn't see the components on it. But don't show half the picture and have us guess what it is. It goes on the flip to this book. I do not read Chinese or whatever language it's in. I find this video to be a waste of my time, because the only place you see it actually is later on in the video, towards the end. This video is about 2 minutes and 20 seconds long. He's showing this book for most of the video, and then he puts it away and he goes to this point and actually pulls it out of the bag. So for about 2 minutes exactly, you don't see jack. And then the last 20 seconds of the video, he pulls out the unit and only shows half of it. Okay, it has a Type-C plug. It has a camera. The camera has a lens protector over it, which this is very, I'm not even going to say very badly shot, because it's purposely shot. The same thing would apply with this second video here. Give me a second. This video here, the same thing. You hit play, he shows the book, Like I said, I do not read Chinese. This is part 2 of that video. I wasn't happy with how they put it out. And also, this is the light unit. For those of you who don't know, there are 2 units coming out for the 04 system. This is the light unit. I'm assuming a cheaper grade camera. I could be wrong. I don't know. I haven't seen any specs on any of this hardware yet. As soon as we find some decent, real specs on this camera, the board that it's on, what kind of gyro it's using,
From what I'm understanding, you're talking about replaying with the same sensors that you find on, like, say, like the Avata and stuff like that.
Yeah. Now, I understand they don't want to give away the technology. The only thing that I saw here that I could identify, hold on, let me put it back here. Right here, let me hit play. And when he flips it over, stop. There's a UFL connection right here. There's a Type-C plug. They're not showing processor. I don't see a spot for an SD card like on the other unit. So who the hell knows? I don't know what type of gyro they're using.
They're not showing you the whole thing.
Well, yeah, I know. But this is the light version. Will it be cheaper? Most guaranteed. With that dipole antenna, I expect people to be putting them in 4-inch, smaller 4-inch and 3-inch birds like that. The other unit, I could see them putting it in something like a 5-inch or larger. Well, but that's about it.
Talking about specs, there was more stuff that had come out on the flip, and one of the things that had dropped from Igor was he had some features and specs, I guess, for this drone. And as followed, I don't know, he put these out. You check this out here, Lars.
Yeah, for the flip. Some of this stuff is interesting, some of it's not. It's a 1/2. Some of the stuff is impressive. I mean, it's DJI. It's 1.8 f-stop, 50 megapixel. That's a plus. Okay, how they went from 48 to 50.
That's a year. I can understand that.
Yeah. With that size, they went back. I don't know. With some of the other stuff, like in part 2, the next picture, maybe a little more impressive. The 4K 60, the slow motion 4K 120, the medium telephoto on CMOS sensor 1/1/3, 3 to 9 times digital zoom. Okay, that's better than what I got on my classic. I only have 5 times zoom. but the f-stop is only 2.8. So I don't think this is going to be a great nighttime drone.
With the small sensor, maybe not. But technically, it is supposed to fly very similar to from what I'm understanding, the Neo, but it's supposed to be a better camera.
Yeah. Now, this was interesting. The fact that it's 45-minute flight time, okay, they're giving you similar time to the Mavic 3, but 10-bit D-Log M and HDL, system sensor barrier detector, surround LiDAR. This thing has LiDAR. Intimate, small LiDAR, but it does.
Yeah, so they say.
This is the second drone we've seen with LiDAR. Is it any better than the first one? I don't know.
Well, these are smaller consumer-based drones that I don't know. I guess they're going to put features on it to attract people.
It says it has night mode. I would have to see it. The one that how they're burning the hell out.
Like I said, it's gonna have to be in the software because with that small sensor,
right?
It's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah, I don't see it.
I want to see what happens because
it's smoke and mirrors. Can you shoot a 4-second long exposure like this behind me? I don't know. Maybe you could. Maybe you can't. I don't know. My thing is well, they've been able to do wonders.
I wouldn't expect too much in the camera on that drone. I don't know what the price range is going to be on it, but like I said, it's probably going to be a little more than the Neo because you're getting a better camera, a slightly better camera. But from what they're claiming that the drones are going to fly very similar. And I'm looking at these pictures that they had out here. Was it posting for a 31-minute flight time? Oh, ooh.
Yeah. What's the flight time up there?
There's your sensor. You're talking
right,
and now you're what? Your LiDAR.
Yes, and that's what that bridge over. You're saying that little perch over the camera. If they decide to do that, I could see that happening in a lot more drones. But who'll know? Might not be able to get them into the country after the ban.
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know about that as far as this drone is concerned.
Mm-hmm. I hear you, B-Mac. He says, I wonder if the flip can handle baseball card between the spokes.
The tennis rackets that it's got those it's heavily spoked up. I don't know.
Bill says it's a Mini 4 Pro camera. Yeah.
It's I just don't like the look of it.
That's what it is. You've gotten spoiled.
No, it's ugly.
It is. It's god ugly. I agree.
It's ugly.
It is.
If you had that picture I was looking for there, you would have seen how it folds. It just looks like it's going to break.
It does. Here, hold on. I'm just pulling the picture up. I'm pulling the picture up now. Here we go. This one. Right there. It's what size are those props?
Couldn't
you have an 8?
Bigger than the whole friggin' drone.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, right?
What size it looks like? You know what it looks like? Like somebody folded a wheelchair.
Yes, that's it. That's it. A flying folded wheelchair. It does. It's sad to say.
When it's folded, it looks like somebody squeezed it.
You know what? Bill said it perfectly. I don't want one. It reminds me of the cyber truck. Yes, you're talking about the rolling cyber dumpsters that they have on the street. Yeah,
I agree with you. Cyber truck.
Yeah, I don't want one. It's ugly.
Oh. There's a lot of ugly things.
If that's what the future looks like, keep me in a combustible.
Well, what I wanted this to get to, Lawrence, was that, we're in a new year, right? We saw a lot of things happen last year. And everybody talks about what's the new year to happen, what's to happen in the new year with the drone industry. And I took a long look, and I've been reading and a few things, and I've been listening. And looking at where we left off last year, and you talk about regulations, you talk about AI, beyond visual line of sight rules, the Chinese drone tech, which is not going away. There will be changes. There'll be some big game changes this year, I believe. But what's to come? Who knows? Last year, like I said, we were talking about this before. Last year, we saw the reauthorization of 2024, and that had a pathway to Part 108, which I believe the government's on the clock right now. Within the next few weeks or a week or so, where you probably will see, you should see something on a notice of proposal for rulemaking.
Yeah.
Oh no, we'll see. Well, we're waiting to see, because I think, what's that? Regulatory Affairs is probably still hashing out some things before we see anything. But we also saw where, the drones that we all love to fly, we all talk about here and on all of the live streams, and we all fly, and search and rescue, police department, everybody's using DJI products. Some guys are using Autel products, and they dodged two hurdles, they dodged a couple of bullets this year. Stefanik, about her bill. But Stefanik has now been nominated to be the UN ambassador, and we also saw that the NDAA went on without this language of the CCP, but it has its own language, and we do know that within a year of this bill passing, that they're supposedly going to investigate, I guess, these Chinese-made drones, and if they find that there's an issue, that they will be banned. If there's no issue, they won't be banned. But if they do nothing, they'll be banned anywhere after the year. So I'm like, that is basically a stay of execution. So when guys say that they probably will be banned, I think that was written in there so that the United States can just do what the United States
ensure
does.
they get banned.
Right. So that because they have no concrete way of doing it. So I guess that's the easiest way to do it, is to just ignore it, and then now we can make it go away because the law states that that's what would happen. So I don't know. I think that we will, continue to see stuff where, there'll be more. Like I said, we talked about this before. There'll be more mergers and acquisitions. You'll see it, and they'll come to play in this in 2025. Because what was it last year? We saw that Teal got that contract over Teal and Red Cat Holder.
Yeah.
They got the contract over Skydio, that government contract. I think that Teal might break out to be, make some game-changing moves this year in the American drone industry, because this new administration has an America First agenda, and that's why I believe that the whole thing would. Something's going to happen there, and something will happen. What? I'm not exactly sure. Everybody thinks that it will be that they will be banned, but I really don't know. I think there's more money to be made in the tariffs.
Okay.
Yeah, because and I'll get into that in a minute. But I think that you'll see more software manufacturers in the drone in the box that we spoke about in that platform. You'll probably see more of that. You'll see more American companies with their ally countries merging together to get some things done, because I think with them wanting to, relieve themselves of this so-called dependency on Chinese drones, that might be the only way to do it, because we don't manufacture shit here. We don't have an infrastructure to manufacture anything here. So,
Right.
So that's probably what you'll probably see. What I will tell you, and I don't want to sound like I'm some kind of guru or expert or genius, whatever, but Unusual Machines as a company, you should keep your eye out. Keep your eye on them. That's a company that's they announced that their addition of Donald Trump Jr. to their board. So, like I said, that's a company that you gotta watch out, but you gotta keep your eye
So
out.
Donald Trump Jr.'s son has joined a drone company.
Donald Trump
The board of a drone company.
Unusual Machines, yes. They're head by this guy Alan Evans, I believe. He's a former CEO over at Red Cat.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. AI will make a bigger impact this year. If your drones ain't got it, it ain't gonna have it. It ain't got it. So I don't know.
True.
Beyond visual line of sight, AI, autonomy. I believe that they will consolidate and come together to create some solution in the drone industry this year. This is what I believe is going to happen.
And you say the company is Unusual Machines
to
look out for. Okay. And we're gonna date this. Today's January 8th, 2025. And let's see if we hear more about these unusual machines, which I'm sure we will.
I just think that you'll start to see
American-based company.
Yeah, you'll see more things starting to happen.
I'm on their website.
Like what's that? Part 108. There's been more leaps and bounds in beyond visual line of sight. You saw where was it Percepto and a few other people were able to get past the whole waiver point of it.
Check out what they're selling.
Having no.
They're actually on the stock exchange right now selling at $12.38. Let's keep an eye on that and see what's happening. I'm going to keep an eye on them, like you said.
Yeah, keep an eye on them. But so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like I said, from what I understand, I'm not sure if it was 19 days or from the beginning of the year for that notice of proposed rulemaking was supposed to come about. But you probably will see something very soon. And if that doesn't happen under the Biden administration, I guess it'll happen under the the next administration. But we'll see. What do you think about this year? Well, this year coming. Well, this year here, period, is here.
I expect so much to change in the drone community. It'll change so fast, people won't even have a chance for their chins to hit the ground.
Well, not so much the drone
2020 in 2025.
Industry,
and when I say the drone industry, I mean the consumer drone industry. Because it's becoming obvious.
Small.
Huh?
So now you're growing even smaller.
Right, but it's becoming obvious that the consumer end of the drone world may be coming to an end. Because when I say consumer, I mean right now they're separating. DJI is making separating the Matrice from the Mavic series. There won't be a Mavic 4 Enterprise. It's happening right now.
Well, That's all. That's always been the case. There was always a separation from the time the Mavic series was introduced, in the separation of the enterprise to the consumer drone. That's always been a thing. I'm telling you, as far as the industry, because if you're speaking about drones and you're only talking about the consumer end of it, then we're talking very small. And that's why when I listen to a lot of guys speak, and a lot of guys say like the drone community is small, maybe so if you think so, if you really think about it, but you only know that the 30-something guys that come to your live stream.
Right.
There's 30-some odd guys that don't come to your live stream. You know what I mean?
Or 300 guys that don't come
over here.
Or 3,000.
So when you look at other live streams out there, you look at other videos out there, guys are getting views on videos talking the same spiel that the next guy is not getting a view on. So, the community, I mean, is it really small? It doesn't count to views. So when guys were looking at the letters that went into the government urging them about the drone ban and this, that, and the other, the countless amount of people who let their voice be heard, it's not just the drone community of guys who want to fly in the park on Sunday or in the morning on some sneak out. No, hell no. You got people who are using these things for work. There are people who are out there that are out there doing it, making things happen. They don't want to see either.
I get it. I do get it. But when we talk about these bans, we're talking about DJI because that's what we know. That's the business that we're in. That's the kind of work that we do. But the reality of it is this will affect cars, buses, trains, planes, stereos, headphones, everything across the board, because there is nothing you have in your house that is built 100% in the United States except for you.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, China, right? Okay, let's get into it. China supposedly slams U.S. plans on banning its commercial drones, right? The Chinese foreign minister spokeswoman, she accused the U.S. of generalizing the concept of national security, interfering and restricting normal economy, trade, exchange, and undermining security stability of global production and supply chain. Now,
it's true.
Now, was Paul, without sounding like I'm committing treason, yes, we did do that by holding up their drones at the border and doing all of these things and crying about national security and not putting forth an answer to why you are allowing drones that propose a national security threat to continue to operate in your country. So they did do that. So I mean, I'm just looking at it. She says that they will take the necessary measures to firmly safeguard, their legitimate right and interests.
Exactly, because if other countries are allowed to sell and uphold the business here in the United States, why can't they?
Why can't they? Right?
I get it, and being singled out, Autel Autel has been added to that list also again of companies that may or may not be banned. But when we see
they were never off of it, and this is why when I tell you about these things here and how I go on further. because they go as far as to accuse Washington of unjustly targeting foreign drones without concrete evidence.
Right.
Now, you know that this comes after the U.S. Department of Commerce announcement of their national security risk investigations. So they plan to investigate. They're looking into information and communication technology associated with drones from China or any other foreign nation, or nation on that list of nations that they're not in good standards with. So
yeah,
basically what this means, and this is not, when we talked about how, remember we had Vic on here and we spoke about what was in the defense bill and how we all made a big deal about CCP wasn't in there. This is more damaging than CCP. And I tell you why I say this is more damaging than CCP. We all said that if nothing is done, the drones go away anyway. So now we're talking about commerce and this, that, and the other getting involved, and communications, right? Information or communication technology, all associated these parts, right, from drones. This is not anything that transmits or receives signals or anything like that. This even goes as far as to your FPV drone.
It sends out a beep.
You understand? This can go, this is going to go as far as to your FPV parts. So, guys.
You mean like these here?
You got to start
like this?
thinking about this a little differently. You got to start thinking about this a little differently. And I said this before. Whatever they do, the guys in search and rescue, Homeland Security's guys, those guys that do that work with drones, they'll be all right. Because they're always going to find something for them. If you look at how enterprise drones are going now, they're very niche, right? They're fitting into a specific category to do this, that, and the other. This was the worst time for Air Peaks to disappear.
Yeah. Well, I was telling to Eldon in the chat, for this reason, I am not buying anything new. I have happy with the drones I have for now. I know people are going to want to get that Mavic 4. If you saw the weight,
that's a tough sell.
It's a tough sell, but I'm going to keep what I have: my Mavic 3, my Air 2S, my FPV birds, and I'll be happy like that.
It's a tough sell because it would only be for recreational use.
Yeah.
I can't say that. I can't say that. I don't know what other kind of work I would get. Because, like I said, we were using the Mavic 3 to do video work, shoot videos and stuff like that for the construction sites, take pictures for the construction site. It's fine. So I surmise that the Mavic 4 would be just as fine, if not better, but the same thing. It's just, do I need to spend another $2,000-$3,000 on a drone to not fly
that you might not be able to fly 6 months to a year later?
No, we'll be able to fly it, but
you won't really do anything other than, well, it depends. With all these TFRs going up and going down, who the hell knows? That's another thing.
It's a temporary, but what I'm saying is you'll be able to fly it. You just won't be able to use it the way you might want to.
Scott says he's going to buy one, the Mavic 4. It could be the beginning of a great legacy of drones. I just don't see drones going past the Mavic 4 here in the United States, at least right now.
Well, honestly, I think that
he's buying batteries for what he has now.
Once again, I'll tell you this. For drones that a year ago, for a drone that proposes a national security risk, if you're going to allow it to fly in the country with its security risk, you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
If you're going to allow these drones to continue to fly, even though they have a national security risk, Paul, I'm still waiting for you to show that information on where the information is going, where it's leaking out from DJI.
It's not going to happen.
Show that proof.
They don't have to. They're just going to wait until everyone forgot about it.
I'm not talking to the federal government. Paul said he has the proof. He's seen it.
Oh, yeah, right. I wish he would show the rest of the world. He seems to be the only one that has seen this.
Seen the proof. I don't know. Hey, listen, we make jokes on this shit all the time, and it's cool, fine, and it's funny. But it's kind of rough because no one really wants to see it happen. You know, we just saw 2 new drones released today from DJI.
Yeah.
You know,
ready to be sold.
Taking that away from the people who need it is tough, because you have, like we talk about, search and rescue. And if those of you have saw the launches and talking about how long this thing can operate and the things that it can do in the usage of search and rescue, I just think that it's a travesty that the people who need the best tech to be able to do
won't be able to use it.
Be able to use it. You know, what's this now? Take off the land.
Oh, I said I've been waiting two yesterday, but he was waiting 2 yesterday. But getting cold feet, the limits and restrictions that certainly are making want to continue the use of the tools I have.
Well,
I understand that.
I get it, and I tell Lawrence these things all the time. And if you study history, you will see that I don't care who it is, whoever's in charge, they all run the same playbook.
Yep.
I remember when we had issue here with the highway, the BQE, and there was one guy who went back to that playbook, and he said something on the news that I thought was interesting. He said, let's not fix the BQE. Let's let it run down any road, and then the traffic will disappear. It will go somewhere else. And that's a common play in the playbook of playbooks. Yeah. If we make it hard for you to operate in a place or to be in one place, then you will move and go somewhere else. And that is a common play that is played when they don't want things to happen. Let's make it difficult for you to be here, and then you will go away. The $150 that they ask guys to pay to shoot in New York is, if I make it difficult, you will go away. If I put up a bunch of TFRs, I will make it difficult, and you will go away.
Yep. Which is exactly what they want you to do.
And that is what's happening. This is the things that are going down right now. Lawrence?
Listen, I'm still flying. I know people that are selling their drones and their equipment and all that stuff. Since they've been talking about the DJI ban. Oh, I'm selling all my stuff, and I know people who have actually sold their stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're still flying. Now you don't have any equipment.
Well,
you don't have nothing to fly with because you sold it. You ran around going, the sky is falling. The sky is falling.
I just find that there's more money to be made in the tariffs and more to learn from DJI's products and the direction that they're going with their products and like what they do before, and how they do it, that before you get rid of it, you can learn from it.
Yeah.
I just think that would be kind of dumb, and once again, without, we talk about DJI, Chinese drones, DJI comes to forefront, them and Autel. But think about this. Eliminating those 2 companies do what? Not only do they eliminate good enterprise drones, but what do they eliminate?
Businesses, people's livelihoods.
As far as the drone is concerned, not only do they eliminate an enterprise line of drones in this country, but what else do they eliminate? They eliminate consumer drones. Those
Yep.
are the only two companies that are doing consumer drones.
Yeah.
All the other companies couldn't sell us a drone. And that's why they went and got on the blue UNSs. Parrot and all of these companies. Well, Fimi, they might have sold you guys. Some of you guys, I mean, they're not on the list, but they might have sold some of you guys.
This is true.
No, I'm just running jokes. No, I just said seriously. We lose for good, good drones in the hands of these people who are out there working. The consumer, I mean, the thing what makes DJI so attractive is that the consumer drone is so close to enterprise level that it can be used for many of these applications.
All with the firmware update.
Not even.
Yeah, that's true.
You have, okay. The first thing that I ever did with the Mini 3 Pro, right, was the footage that was shot for the news article, for the news program.
Right, I remember for New York One. Right, for New York One, and the reason being, he was worried about the prop noise from the Mavic 3. So
he didn't want prop noise in the footage.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a while back.
So something as simple and little as the Mini was able to out over Jamaica Bay go out there and get the footage for them to do.
Right. And New York One still has it in their archives. Yes. I have it somewhere archived as well.
Listen, these drones that we purchase are very good drones, and it's a shame that something like that was to happen. That's all I'm say about it. And
so instead of going, the sky is falling. Fly your drones, fly them responsibly. Use Lance, get permission. So if someone approaches you, look, I've got permission right here. That doesn't mean just because you're there and you have permission, you could be somewhere you're not supposed to be and have permission. I'm just saying, do the right thing.
Lawrence?
Yeah.
I got one other thing here.
What's that?
For 10% off on your Nano products, please use coupon code Phantom Flight 10 for 10% off on all your Nano products. If you're looking for a hard case to protect your drones, gimbals, cameras, firearms, watches, anything, they make custom cases. Check them out. Nano for 10% off, use it. Phantom Flight 10. And I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like I said, next week, we plan to have Ryan LaTourette on. And we're going to talk further about this thing and how the Department of Commerce is involved and how deep this is going to go. And also, what does AUVSI, or however the hell their name is, have to do with anything?
Well, I think they had a lot to do with what was going on.
Oh, yeah. Well,
thing too.
There's some sneaky cats, but yeah, we're going to talk about it. Ryan's coming in next week to talk.
Okay.
Yeah. And we should be talking probably more about that notice of proposed rulemaking.
Okay.
For it. So we'll see what's going on. And like I said, Skydio, well, not Skydio, forget about Skydio, but AUVSI, they have been lobbying. So we're going to see what's going on. We're going to see what's going on. We're going to get to the bottom of it right here.
Stefanik went away with a new job position, so
we're going to get to the bottom of it right here.
I hope so. That would help ease the hearts of a lot of people. Seriously.
Lawrence, guess what? Walmart is ending. Walmart Walmart and DroneUp is ending their partnership due to the cost, you know. And I listen to guys talk about drone delivery, and I just think that some of the things that I hear guys talk about with drone delivery, I still find that guys are misinformed. When you are comparing a drone delivery to the UPS truck or the FedEx truck that pulled up on your block and hit like 5 homes or like 3 buildings and stuff like that, then you don't understand drone delivery.
Right.
The truck has merchandise on it that was pre-ordered by people a couple of days ago, a few weeks ago, whatever. Maybe even a month ago, depending on what company you bought it from.
Right.
But the drone delivery is for what you purchase and order now that you need now. Small items that they can deliver. One of the main reasons why this partnership is ending is because of the issues that Walmart had. Where Walmart shut down a lot of stuff with DroneUp when they only had the Dallas market. So let's not get crazy because Kroger and a few other people are doing it. It's being done. It can be done. If anything can be delivered to your house, then a drone can deliver to it too. You understand? Right. It's the cost. It's the cost. It's the cost. It's the cost. You're involving a drone airline within moving your pizza. Even for your medication, it becomes costly. Because now, let's think about this. The drone airline is not going to function like the guy on the bike that's delivering and working for tips.
True.
You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
This airline is going to be charging this company money. So your $15 pizza, what's it going to cost? It's the cost. It's the cost. Yes, this is the cost. And I just to deliver a muffin and an orange juice, right? A quart orange juice. Like, what does that cost? Maybe like $4, $5, or say $2.
Okay, well, according to this, it's worth noting that retailers. Hold on, it's worth noting in answer to your question, noting that retailers' traditional delivery costs between $8 and $10, while drone delivery can cost as much as $30.
That's the point of what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So even moving medication, right? Even moving medication. So I'm going to deliver your medication, right? You got a copay on your joint or whatever you paid the pharmacy. What's the pharmacy paying to have this stuff delivered by a drone? These things cost. It's not the guy on the bike that's working for tips.
Right. The guy that's delivering your drones from the pharmacy. When they say you can't pick up from Walgreens or whatever, that guy that delivers to your house, he's making minimum wage at least here in New York, which, by the way, went up to $16.50. Now you have to compensate for gas. You have to compensate for whatever you need to make deliveries in a van full of medication. Think about it. You got to pay this guy to be out there, right? You got to have his truck full with gas. It's got to have heat, something.
Yeah, but once again, that's 2 different types of deliveries.
It still adds up at some point or another.
That's the same as comparing the truck with the FedEx truck and the UPS truck to the drone delivery. It's not the same. Those are pre-planned deliveries. This guy's going out with a bunch of stuff to deliver. The drone is delivering. I need it now. It's going now. It's going now.
Yeah,
it's going now. It's going now. That's what the drone is doing.
Right,
and
convenience.
Going to cost. That's going to cost.
That's where the price comes in. I agree.
I just couldn't see how that's effective. That I would buy. And we did the whole thing on it with the gentleman and his wife. They bought the muffin and the orange juice.
Yeah,
inside
the 1,000 customer. Yeah,
right. Let's be for real on that. That's like a $6 order. What's the surcharge on that to be able to pay the drone company for delivering that?
True.
I sent. Oh, okay. Everybody keeps saying that Canada's post office is open. It wasn't. When I went to go mail that stuff to Jim's Donut, it wasn't open. They were not yet taking packages yet. So now go over to UPS to mail a package, and the price goes up to a point of where now do we start looking at the price as opposed to what's in the box? What we're ordering as opposed to the fees. Is it worth it? You know what? Let me get in the car and go get my own damn orange juice.
Yeah. Should spend $6, or am I going to get in my car and burn gas to go get that?
No.
You know what? We did on our stream.
No,
I understand, but on our stream, we mentioned how the people who really want these drone deliveries are the younger people who are used to ordering Uber and ordering takeout and getting their food cold.
Younger people, our generation too.
Yeah, I know. I know. But for the most part,
and then you have some elderly people that can benefit from it. It's just the upcharge is just going to be too much.
Right.
Like now, it's tough. And I don't don't get me wrong. I think it could be done, but you got to figure out a way to do that. The companies are going to have to own their own drones. You're not going to have like bringing in DroneUp to make your deliveries is going to cost more. You're going to have to own your own drones and do it. Do your own drone maintenance and everything for it to be cost effective to you. Also, I just can't see it. I just can't. No, because what they're going to charge you to do it, it's not going to happen. Well, what you think?
What
do you guys in the chat think?
Yeah. It blows my mind how people have their groceries delivered. Yeah, Scott, we come from we're a dying breed. We'll be extinct like the dinosaurs, where we actually went to the supermarket and touched the oranges before we brought them, as opposed to some kid listening to music on the headphones, picking my oranges for me.
Oh, you got to see that, how the stuff comes to the, the nightmares of people with that. Get the wrong stuff under the house. You ask the kid for lemons, he brings you oranges.
Well, here's something. We have, Stop and Shop. They have their Peapod delivery, right? My nephew, before he had passed, he ordered spaghetti sauce. So they had it on sale. So he ordered like 3 jars. We're emptying the bags. Come to find out, there's only 2 spaghetti sauce. But he didn't say anything because when we left the building later on that day, there was a busted jar of spaghetti sauce in front of the building. Yeah, he didn't say a effing thing. He didn't say nothing, bro. He brought our shit upstairs, said, all right, have a good one. And we were like, okay, thank you. And he was out, got in his truck and broke out. About 2 hours later, we both left the building and we see a broken jar of the same sauce in front of the building.
Yo, let me tell you something. They hire bums, man.
Yeah.
Don't play hire
I know. I know.
Lawrence, I don't know. Next week we're supposed to have Ryan on the stream. I don't know what I'm going to be able to do because tomorrow, God.
Yeah, you're having operations tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm having surgery number 7. For those of you who know, who have been following the stream, a few years ago, I got hurt at work and I had to have a series of surgeries that worked their way from my ankle to my knees, back to my hands, down back to my ankle, and back up again. So now, tomorrow, they're going into the arm to fix what's going on with the arm. I don't know if anybody, you guys ever fly with me, you'll see that I have a kind of like a twitch in my arm. They're going to go in and try to fix that. So there's an issue with the nerve and the tendon that's something that's torn or something in there for a few years now. So they're going to fix it. I haven't had the surgery because I just got tired of having the anesthesia on my brain constantly back to back to back to back to back, and then having to deal with having to be able to walk again after having the knee surgery and then having the ankle fused. So I let this one wait, and then they claim that there's still another one to do. So because they can't do both of them at the same time, or because he'll end up ripping my arm.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be able to feed yourself.
So, well, I'll be all right. I should be able to fly. Listen, I flew with the bandages on my hands the last
time. I remember. You look like the mummy. I remember that.
Be able to.
I remember you had your head all wrapped, and you was like,
"I'll be able to type and put my jacket on and stuff like that." So we'll see.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I hope everything turns out for the better. It's that time.
Yeah, it is.
It is that time.
Thank you, Mark.
Everyone's saying prayers.
Thank you. Lift the land. Thank you. Oh, what happened? Oh.
No, I was just repeating.
What happened, Lawrence? Yeah.
I was just getting ready to say it. They were just saying prayers and sending regards to you.
Well, thank you. What's that there, boy? Okay. All right. Well, Lawrence, I guess I don't know if anybody else is on. I don't know if this is their off week or what. I don't know. But anyway, should be somebody on tonight. Oh, I know Bill is on tonight. He should be on about what, 8:30? Go check Bill out.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Go check out Bill's show. With that, anything else, Lawrence?
No, that's it. We're out of here.
Okay. Well, guys, it's been nice. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us. I want to wish you a happy new year. And there's going to be a lot of things happening in the new year, guys. Let's just keep our head down and listen. Make your voices heard. There's a link in the description for the Drone Advocacy Alliance. Please let your politicians know that you mean business and we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I'll see you next time with those guys. Good night, everyone.